Right, welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is my review of Altered Carbon Resleeved. This is an anime version, I guess, of Netflix's Altered Carbon. Really didn't like it, actually, and it's not... There's a few distinct things which I kind of... We've got to judge here on an anime, and I know there'll be loads of people disliking the video because I just said I dislike it. I appreciate that. But let me explain first, because there's actually some really good stuff in this. So from an artistic perspective, obviously, when you're you're making anything animated, movie, it doesn't matter. You still have to storyboard. You still have to come up with framing and shots and composition, regardless of whatever it is. And some of it is really good. Like, this is, you know, the image that I've got just here. It's a good frame. You know, they've framed the subjects very well. It's lit very well. All the action is really good in this. But there's some really, really key things that let it down. And it may be because I'm just not a fan of it. I really don't like cell shading. So I'm pretty sure this is what it's called. This kind of animation here, where you can see the kind of shadows and things. I'm fairly certain that's called cell shading. It was out on a Legend of Zelda, like a game. Oh my god, I was going to say a good few years back, but that's showing my age now. A really long time ago. And it's this kind of, this cell shading business. I really don't like that in an anime. Sorry about that. I really don't like that in an anime. I really think it's, I don't know, it just lets itself down. It appears really cheap. And it doesn't always appear really cheap, but it does in this. And it's really let down because in this whole anime movie thing, which lasts about, I think it was about an hour and 14 minutes, so it's not very long. But in this, they actually have key, proper, what looks to be sketched images in the background. So you're looking at this cel-shaded, almost CG animated business, right? And then in the background, you've got really nice... really nice looking hand-drawn stuff, and you're like, well, what the fuck, why are you doing that? And it lets it down a lot. And again, like I'm saying, you know, the lighting's really good and stuff like that, but then it exposes the fact that it's cel shaded. Now, the other area that lets it down, because there's some really good moments in this, but the other thing which really lets it down is the voice acting. It's very wooden. And also, no, with respect to the animation style is very wooden. Like, there's the characters seem to only have like a few distinct expressions, and this will all lead on to one overarching point in a second, and I'll get to it. But all of the animation seems to have like a few key expressions. It's like deadpan on the face now, rage, which they have numerous times. Or like kind of surprised or crying. That's it. There's no nuance. Whereas normally, if you're doing the drawing, you know, a proper animated sketch, things like this, you get a lot more emotion out of the characters. But that paired with a really wooden voice cast, there's just not much coming out of it. And I having a look at it, I'm pretty sure these people have done stuff before. Like they're not bad voice actors, but in this they were crap. It was quite boring, actually, and it was quite boring up until a point of action. So the action scenes are fantastic, incredibly well choreographed, and again, even as an anime, you still have to choreograph these things, and it's very well choreographed. Again, it's very artistic, but then I look at it and I'm like, well, it's not very artistic when I look at it. You know, like this is not very artistic. But the keys, the frames that they're doing when they're doing the action, lovely. Very, very nice. Music was good. Music was good. Everything was fine in that respect. Pacing, good. pacing worked. I mean, it's an hour and 14 minutes, so what are you expecting? It's going to be over and done with really, really quick. So the story in this is fine. It's kind of interesting up until a point. It is set before all of the events of the current timeline in Season 1 and 2, but it is set after what we see is the flashbacks in Season 1. So everything with Kelcrest, Falconer, the Uprising and things like that, and everyone dying, it's set after those events. Like, quite close after those events. Now, I mean, it's not that interesting. Like, it's basically Takeshi Kovacs gets, you know, sleeved on Latimer's world and has to go and help some yakuza girl, Holly, a tattooist, from figuring out why she's being hunted down by a character that actually appears in Season 2, which is Hideka Tanasada Hideki. Sorry, I'm butchering that. Now he's the character which we see actually in Season 2 of Altered Carbon, so it kind of ties into that. But this is not made for the Western audience, actually, and I don't really think it's even made for the Japanese audience. But it is very much Japanese, but to its detriment, actually. And I don't really know why. Like, do the Japanese really like Altered Carbon? Are they big on Altered Carbon? Is this a Japanese thing? I don't know, but it is Japanese. Like, this is made for the Japanese market because everything is all Japanese. Like, it's Japanese writing, and then it comes on with with an English closed caption over the top. Obviously, it's been dubbed over, but that's the thing. It's been dubbed over. You can see the mouth moving of what would be Japanese. So the main problem with this is it's very Japanese, and I know that weirdly sounds racist, but it's not. It's not for the Western market by the looks of it. Like, it's everything bad with respect to kind of like the over bombastic levels of kind of Japanese. It's almost like it's made for kids, but it's not, because there's blood going everywhere. I don't really know what to think of it, to be honest. It just wasn't very good. And it's a shame, because it could have been something very special. I just feel they should have put a lot more time and effort into the animation. Get away from this cel shading bollocks. Get well away from that. The story was fine. Refine it a little bit more. And get some better voice actors. Because again, you know, I'm saying it's really Japanese. But if you've got better voice actors, and again, because I think some of them were Japanese as well. If you've got some Western voice actors, they may have been able to put some more inflection behind certain words and enunciate things with more emotion. Because that's the thing, right? And I've lived and worked all over the world, and even dealing with people from South Africa, for instance, when English is not their native language, they struggle to get the correct emotional inflection behind words of a language that's not their native. So I think this was made for the Japanese market, and because it's being seen by the Western market, i.e. me, it suffers as a result. But that's about it. There's not really too much else to say on this, to be honest. I wouldn't really be interested in watching another one. It wasn't that good. Action was great. So if you just like action, watch it just for the action. But do other stuff whilst you're watching it, because the action's kind of few and far between. But anyway, if you've watched it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. It's only just released, so I'm sure you have. And if you haven't, are you going to watch it now? Leave all of your thoughts down below. Also, we are very, very, very close to 60% on my crowdfund for my short film. I know I'm here criticising films, but look, I'm going to make my own soon, and you can absolutely tear it to shreds. This could be my first film, so rip it to pieces. But we're not going to be able to make it unless we, you know, start hitting that target. So if you want to rip my short film apart, then you know, so pledge to it down below. Also, I've got my pre-order of Doom, so that releases in about hour and 10 minutes, I think. So I will be playing that. So if you want to watch Doom Eternal playthroughs here on the channel, I've decided I will be playing it for you. So please do hit subscribe for that as well, but also just let me know that you're interested in seeing that. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching. If you're new here, hit subscribe, like the video and share it. Please do all of that. It really does help me out. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Mr. H. Take care.